personally, knowing that they weren't going to run the ball very much.
What tea leaves have you been looking into?
Care what?
Doesn't logic take over, John?
I'm with John. George,
Don't you suddenly jump on his
George,
ship.
I'm on his ship, and I know it's going to sail. Because if this guy continues to play great, all these coaches come up with this rule, which is just crap. Mumbo jumbo, to quote the scholar to my right, where they say, well, a starter can't lose his job to injury. What a bunch of crap, George. How did Trent Green lose his job?
He got hurt.
Yeah, how does anybody ever lose their job? They get hurt. And maybe performance falls off through injury, but I don't believe that for 1 second. If this guy continues to play this well, and there's no guarantee that he will, it's going to be hard to put the other guy back in.
He won't be healthy next week.
Listen, the NFL is fraught with double standards, okay? And it's how well you pull off the double standard is what counts. Jack Pardee was terrible at the double standard. He didn't know how to use it. But a guy with panache and flair, say a Bill Parcells, hey, you get away with it, and that's what you got to do. That's what's going on right now, the double standard. Well, and it kind of takes a life of its own.
Bobby Bowden is my favorite one. He just says, dadgummit, yeah, that's a double standard. That really is it. I'm treating them all differently.
But it does bother Brad, because Brad is a set thrower. He has to be set to throw, and he's in position to throw. I don't think the knee would bother Jeff George as much, because he never gets set.
Well, he can throw off either leg, so it doesn't make any difference to him.
He's just running backwards and throwing. But Brad is a set thrower, and I think that's one of the reasons that it's taken longer than they anticipated.
Did the three of you go out drinking before the show to start this stuff?
Brad Johnson is the starting quarterback for the Redskins. If Jeff George throws 20 touchdowns against the Eagles, the next week Brad Johnson starts.
Has he got a company line recording inside of him? What
are you getting this? I mean, you got this written down someplace? Well, this is what he wants, but I'm going to tell you, sometimes just by the dint of the play on the field, of the player's play, it becomes powerless, in this case, for Norv to do anything about it. It's out of his hands at this point.
Let me get out of it with this. Sonny.
I would say.
Well, yeah, but you said a lot of things.
You're right,
John. Wait a minute. Oh, Jurgensen.
You saw right there on that film, Norv Turner is just beside himself, because to me, he was not committed to anything he was saying. He's not telling you what's really on his mind. I don't blame him. Why would I want to tell him what's on my mind? But in that situation, this guy's very uncomfortable with what's happening, and he can feel it slipping away on him. It's beyond his control. It's just that simple.
You may as well get to another topic now, because that's it. That's it.
We better get to a commercial.
That's the deal.
Boom, 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 boom in a minute. Boy, you guys are not allowed to be in each other's company anymore.
Redskins Report is sponsored by your friends at Toyota and by Verizon. Consider it done.
Sound familiar? Doran Gensler looks at an amazing new way to stop snoring for good. It's News for Your Health, Monday at 11. Sweet dreams.
I am a workhorse. I am tough and always ready for a fight. I have the most torque, pulling power, and repeat buyers in my class. I am a 2000 F-150. And now, during Ford truck season, I am available with 1.9 financing or $1,500 cash back and air at no extra charge. You got it. Air at no extra charge. I am the best-selling truck in the world, and I am waiting for you.
There's my husband, Nolan Ryan, still throwing heat. Can you believe he's got arthritis? You see, Nolan's doctor says the best way to control arthritis pain is to keep moving. And to make it easier, he recommends Advil. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain, yet it's gentle on his stomach. In fact, I take Advil for my arthritis pain. That way, we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain.
Toyota is the one with special limited time savings. Come in now to save with 6.9% APR financing up to 60 months with no down payment and no payments for 90 days. Come in now to save on any Camry sedan. Come in now to save on Camry Solara hardtops. Come in to save on Corollas restyled for 2001. Come in now. Special financing ends Thursday. For big savings now, your Toyota dealer is the one.
Sailors, bikers, hard rock and musicians slinking into seedy little tattoo parlors, dirty needles plunging into their skin.
That is not the way it is anymore.
Body art has gone mainstream, bucking the stereotype. Whatever you want, wherever you want it. It's all yours for the right price.
It's kind of like collecting art. You can carry it around with you.
Jim Vance takes you down Tattoo Alley, where an age-old art's attracting a new modern client. Monday on News 4 at 6.
Okay, the troublemakers are on the loose. That would be Wilbon, Riggins, and Jurgensen, and I'm just going by. I want to tell you, first of all, you're going to get no quarterback controversy from Jeff George. Let me take you back to Monday night St. Louis. Against the Rams, Jeff George had very good numbers, 24 of 34, 269 yards, 3 touchdown passes, some of which were awesome. Afterwards, he very politically correctly turned to Sonny Jurgensen and said, this is just, no personal thing. We're just doing a nice job here. Jeff?
We're just fortunate. Brad's my friend, and, he got us at 6-3, and, he's a great guy. We're just fortunate we got 2 good guys here that can play at any given time, and that's why we're 7-4.
And he's my best friend, and I don't want a quarterback controversy, and I love my wife and kids, and we don't want a quarterback controversy. He was talking to you, saying, I don't want a quarterback controversy. And
well,
here you are.
He didn't say, I want a quarterback controversy.
No, he said, I want no quarterback controversy. He's saying that with every other word he says, right?
I didn't hear that.
Well, get the...
Can I ask you something seriously? I know, one thing that irritates me sometimes about living in Washington, the only thing that people understand here, a quarterback controversy, excuse me, the Washington Redskins defense, which is now number 2 in the league and number 1 in the conference, they won this game. With all due respect to quarterback controversy city, quarterback controversy capital of the world, the quarterback was about the 3rd most important thing in this game. The fact that the special teams didn't blow it, and the fact that the defense played the best that any St. Louis offense has faced since Tampa, that won this game, and that's what's going to get this team a division title, not the quarterbacks. Sorry,
Okay,
George.
so we don't need... So go out there, tell me.
I'm by myself. I think Michael's on to something, but I think also this game plan, you got to give Coach Turner some credit here. And Sonny and I were talking about that. They kept the Rams off the field a pretty good part. In fact, what did you say? 4 minutes they only were on the field.
4:48 in the 3rd quarter.
So that's kind of
had the ball 18:47 in the 2nd half. Wow.
So they kind of everybody pitched in. It was a great team effort.
And the specials kept them off the field for 2 more possessions by covering up with the fumble, the forced fumble, and the onside kick.
And Bruce Smith gets the Defensive Player of the Week, which is like the 9th time he's been given this award. Bruce Smith gets 3 sacks in the game. And I don't think, Sonny, you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Trent Green was expecting what the Redskins did with the defensive ends.
Yes, they were.
Really?
Yes, they were. I talked to Mike Martz on the field before the game, and he said, there's one thing that bothers me about this football game, and that is whether or not we'll be able to block that defensive end. And they couldn't. That was the first thing he said to me on the field.
What do you think it was that made him feel that way going into that game?
Especially when you got Orlando Pace, and Bruce said after the game, this is a good tackle. He's got long arms. He's got, he moves well. But he was pumped for that.
Yeah, you know what? I think Sonny's right about that. And I think, what you really see here, and it's good that you get a guy like Bruce Smith who's played in the big game. Here you come down to a Monday night football game in St. Louis. The whole world is watching. It's the biggest game you've played all year, and Bruce Smith brings it all. I mean, and you know what? He sets the tone for everybody else. I mean, like I said, it was just a great team effort. Everybody pitching in, and you have to say, led by Bruce Smith.
While we're on the subject of defense, I want to cover what I felt was the biggest play of the entire game. You take your own play, but I think this was the most important of all. Deion Sanders trying to cover his man. He falls down, but instead of saying, oh, Torrey Holt beat me, Deion gets back up and from behind incredibly forces a fumble. This happens after several things. Number one, he got beat. Then he got up and he comes back and he forces the fumble. But more importantly, the fact that it looked like one point he had blown out his knee earlier.
For the grace of God, I wouldn't have been able to continue that game. My career probably would be over because I know in my heart my knee was gone on that play. I never felt pain like that in my 12-year career.
Deion, on the pain that he felt. You were saying that when he came off the field, he was
talking in tongues. Talking in tongues. So we had our parabolic mics down there. He's talking in tongues. And I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, he wouldn't understand that. I was talking in tongues.
I was going to ask you, when's he not talking tongues?
Was that not the most outlandish play you've seen the whole game?
That was You know what? I guess that was my defensive play, too, because at that point, it looks like they're going to get a quick strike and sort of reclaim momentum. And because of that play, they didn't. It's funny, Deion fell, but I think he was running stride for stride. I don't know how much of that play is there. Like he was running pretty well because he had come back. That play came after the knee looked like it was blown out.
I choose not to give my man Free on the benefit of the doubt on this. He was beaten. He was hooking the guy, and if he doesn't hook him, he runs by him for a touchdown. He's got the arm out and gets him to slow down the balls underthrown, but he's clearly beaten there. Of course, he does fall down. I will give him credit, though. He gets an E for effort, but that's what you get when you get up and stand up and you got egg all over your face. At least he knew it was Monday night. They used to call him prime time, and he got back in and made a play. Oof. I'm not so generous. I don't surprise you, do I?
I'm much more generous than you.
But that's the way I see the play.
All right, I didn't see that. So, no, Michael, you're the judge. Am I right? Or is John right? Come on now, come on. It was a good play. It was a great play.
I thought it was a big play.
I want to cover one other subject we'll get to in a minute, and that is about time to sing the praises of a guy who's been hung out to dry since Frostburg in a moment.
The telephone, one of the great modern conveniences of our time. But along with using a phone comes two big questions. Do you really know what you're paying for on your local phone bill? And how do you know which wireless company is right for you? Monday and Tuesday, Liz Crenshaw rings in on two big phone service issues. Monday, find out what makes a wireless company the best for your needs. Tuesday, what are all those strange charges on your local phone bill? Find out what you're paying for every month and why. Hey, Liz is on the phone, Monday and Tuesday on News 4 at 5.
Sometimes surviving a medical malpractice mistake can mean living with overwhelming injuries, paralysis, brain damage, and other permanent disabilities. I'm Roger Greenberg, and my law firm Greenberg & Betterman represents people who've been seriously and permanently injured. With medical malpractice, seeking just compensation for injuries may require legal help, and selecting the right attorneys.
But Charles McDaniel has taken a lot of heat. You've seen all the subtitles. Nothing special about special teams. Well, this past Monday night in St. Louis, they pulled off a couple of things. I mean, first of all, they force fumbles on a kickoff. They get the fumble recovery. Sonny, you have to like what you saw in this so far, right?
Oh, it was a tremendous play. Perfectly executed onside kick.
Look, Charles McDaniel said, well, it really wasn't that big a deal. Look, Charles McDaniel.
Well, I think any competitor is happy and pleased when, you know, you do something positive, and they did something positive. I mean, very positive. I mean, and made some plays, made a lot of plays. It just speaks what they can do when we concentrate on the business at hand. And the business at hand is winning and making plays.
Hey, you need a mirror put underneath his nose. Was he breathing? Couldn't detect a pulse on Charles, man.
Well, you don't want to get
Talk
too
about
excited.
Cool.
You don't want to get too excited. Is it not time, you know, that something like this happened? And does this now spur on the special teams, or is this one night time?
I don't know enough about how that works in terms of momentum. We see people get hot over a period of weeks, and we see things improve. Was this an improvement, or was it an isolated case where they did something that was perfectly designed and executed? They did that.
They covered kicks well. They covered punts well. They kickoff guy kicked the ball in the end zone.
They did a lot of things well.
In all facets of their special team, they played well.
Sonny, is there
the one thing, 4 field goals, they missed one extra point.
Is there carryover, you guys, for special teams like there is carryover for the other two
units? I think they'll need it this week against Brian Mitchell.
I agree with that, but the one thing you learn that to me about this team that I think is unsettling with most people is there is no momentum. You haven't seen it yet with this team.
Just wait till Sunday. It'll be there.
You think it will? I think that's the one thing they have to guard against is a big letdown.
We thought we were going to see this before.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Over the past 3-4 years.
That's what's so characteristic about this team. Yeah. It'll get the big win, and it'll come out against a team like Philadelphia and fill their helmets full of...
Why are you so pessimistic?
I'm just saying it's a very real possibility.
All right. Darrell Green goes out and has not a great game, but he shows up in the first quarter, plays extremely well. Darrell Green has a torn calf muscle. Now, Norv said, look, it's not his inspirational play. Don't make this up to be bigger than it was. It was just the presence of Darrell Green that was important to the Redskins secondary. As far as Darrell Green, he knew he had a torn calf muscle and said, this is a miracle.
I didn't do anything great. I didn't do anything. I just had probably less than an average game. It wasn't any, I don't think I did anything great, but, in terms of what people saw. But what I know and what the doctors and the Bubba and the people that really know, we can run, but we can't hide. The Lord is with Darryl Green.
Meaning he has a torn calf muscle. Is a miracle he was able to play Monday.
Well, it was. I mean, he felt something Saturday, and he knew something wasn't right. And Darryl asked for and went to a local hospital, received an MRI Monday morning. He waited, didn't do anything Sunday, went Monday morning. The doctor told him, showed him the x-ray, showed him where it was torn. And the coaches were going to make him inactive. And Darryl asked Norv not to make him inactive before the game on Monday. Darryl knew that they needed him. That you have to have cornerbacks. What's the reason that St. Louis can do all these things, but they couldn't do it in the Redskins? Cornerbacks.
So what do you do Sunday against the Eagles with him?
I asked him earlier this week. He said he's going to play.
He said he's going to play.
I would think he wouldn't play. I don't think
this would be exactly, Sonny. You're right. And this is where you got to be intelligent.
I agree.
This is where you have to be intelligent about this. And if the coaches, if they know what they know, they shouldn't let him play no matter what he says. You know, it's like
well, how about the next several games too, John? I mean, you've got Philadelphia, you got the Giants, you got Pittsburgh. These are not the Cowboys. These are not running teams. These are not teams that are going to throw 3 and 4 wideouts at you and put the kind of pressure on the corners that you have to have there. Right. So wouldn't you set them? You would set them down, right?
Darryl Green, Sonny, and John have just said you're sitting and enjoy life with Jewel for a couple of weeks. Real quick wild cards. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as you know, folks, are struggling. All of a sudden, they go out and lose in Chicago. It's a game they should have won, but once again, Sean King had trouble finding the right receiver. He found the Bears receiver several times. Oh, he did. But wait a minute. Warren Sapp says, don't count us out. We are not done. We are still going to make it to the playoffs. Warren?
Now it's just a matter of us just going out and doing it. And that's always been our calling cards, to go out and just get it done. We're just a blue-collar team that goes out there for 60 minutes and gets the job done. And we're going to get it right. Don't worry about that.
You've been hanging around a lot of guys talking a lot of football. What do you say about these?
Well, I think he's right. I mean, I say don't discount them. I think they've still got a possibility. The thing, I don't think they can go too far because I think their offense, I think Sean King, if he was going to turn the corner, he would have turned it by now. You can't expect miracles out of him towards the end of the season. Their defense will get him there, but it can't take him too far. So,
on the other hand, I want to cover another subject. That is the Minnesota Vikings. Dennis Green is widely criticized as being a buffoon. He's got a death wish. He goes and starts a quarterback that nobody's ever heard of from Central Florida, Dante Culpepper. They made him the 11th pick in the draft last year. Everyone said, why would you pick him? The guy doesn't have the talent. Central Florida quarterback Dante Culpepper is now 9-2, is just having a great year. What did you know about him?
We had Dante rated as the #1 player in the entire draft. So when he started dropping, and we said we're going to get a chance to do what happened to us before. We had Randy Moss rated as the #1 player the year before when he came out. And it was a case of us feeling that we got the best player in the draft, and not only that, it was a year when we really wanted a quarterback.
Very smart man or very lucky man?
I think you always have to have both in the National Football League. He's a very smart man. I know Dennis Green. I've known him half my life. This guy, if you look at his pedigree, if you look where he learned his football, coming up under Bill Walsh, he has always been a great evaluator of talent, whether it was in the pros, Stanford, Northwestern, even when Northwestern wasn't any good. Look at the players he developed. Chris Hinton, who was in the Pro Bowl 8 out of 9 years. He is a very smart man. He knew what he was doing all along, George.
When we come back, it's time to look at the Eagles. 5.5-point favorites are the Redskins, and they stand the luxury.
Redskins Report is sponsored by your local Ford dealer.
Toyota. The Washington Redskins are 5.5-point favorite over the Philadelphia Eagles, but we're not allowed to mention point spreads because that would indicate gambling, and so we're not talking point spread. So the Washington Redskins are favored by, what, 1.5 pounds of potatoes over the Eagles, something like that, okay?
Reasonable.
One of the guys that you have to look at and say he's having a good year, but the Eagles need more out of him is Brian Mitchell. They need something big out of Brian Mitchell in tomorrow's game. Brian Mitchell, as you know, is just a record holder of all kinds. It seems like he's been here since forever. He goes this year as a free agent to the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't mind going, except that he hated hearing that he was supposedly a bad influence on young Redskins players.
I don't think I did anything wrong to make any young guy do anything bad. Because you can ask those guys, ask AC, ask Mike Sellis, ask those guys, James Thrash, you know, who was the guy that was always pushing them? Ask Mike when he would do something wrong on the field, who would get into his face and tell him what he should do and this, that, and the other, take that extra hump. So, that really, that kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. But, other than that, like I said, I'm happy because, I was given the opportunity to go somewhere else, and I'm having fun.
And they are indeed, let me tell you, the Eagles are having fun.
You know why? I mean, first of all, part of it's the way the special teams play. Man, wondering about their special teams. Their special teams are great. The defense is spirited. and it's fun to watch a young guy like McNabb develop before your eyes. It's just a fun team to watch.
And another thing they've done, and you have to compliment them on it, is that they lose Deuce Staley, and they're leading the division.
Running back by committee with my man Darnell Autry.
Yeah. Why don't they use Brian Mitchell more at running back?
Sneak
Why
that
don't
in
they
there.
use Brian more as a running
They've
back?
got him in. They use him a lot on third down, and
Right.
really he hasn't produced that well.
They can't run, and that is a problem for them.
So Donovan McNabb is their leading rusher. Having said that, when your quarterback is your leading rusher, you don't have a running game, you can't win, right or wrong. Who's going to win the game?
You can win, but I believe the Redskins finally will get this momentum thing going that John referred to them not having done. I think they'll finally get rolling in that direction and win this game, a close game.
I think the Eagles are going to give them trouble. So much trouble, in fact, the Eagles may have more points at the end of the game. But let me also add this. Whoever said that Brian Mitchell was a bad influence don't know anything about bad influences, right, Sonny?
Were you, ladies and gentlemen,
When I went out alone.
We got two of the finest,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Bookend between bad influences. If it weren't for these two,
Bad
I would be
attitude.
a saint.
Bad
Thank
influence.
you very much. You know we've both taken the Redskins. He took the Eagles. Have a good night.
Travel